Featherstone went to Odsal last season and won by 22 points to 21. So Bradford will get proceedings underway here. It is a sun-drenched Post Office Road. Luke Cooley down towards the Featherstone line. Featherstone with first use of the ball, and the championship season continues to heat up as Featherstone and Bradford meet in this eagerly anticipated round 5 showdown this afternoon. Certainly the Bradford-Featherstone rivalry promises this one will be a championship game to remember, and Featherstone have come up with an early error here. Danny Addett has been penalised by referee Cameron Worsley for not getting to his feet and playing the ball correctly 30 metres out from his own try line on what would have been tackle number 3. Well, good to see around about 800 to 900 Bradford fans that have made the journey here. They have accepted the peace offering from Featherstone. Terry Mullaney, Martin Vickers and Paddy Hanlon. So what can Bradford do here? An early attacking raid coming down the Post Office Road slope here. Although they've lost a little bit of ground there as that ball goes behind Keys from Donaldson, and it's recovered by Luke Cooley on his third Bradford appearance in the red, amber and black. Here goes Franklin Pellet taking 3 Featherstone forwards out of that defensive line. They're back where they started on the Featherstone 30-metre line. It's going to go Keys, Meadows to Fulton. Fulton wrapped up there by Callum Turner and Will Jubb. And Bradford now just outside the Featherstone 20-metre line. And as we mentioned, 5 ever-presents for Bradford. One of those is Michael Lawrence. And Bradford 15 away from that Featherstone try line. They're on the 5th and last tackle now. 10 metres out. Keys over the top. Callum Turner read that one. And it's Keys and Blake who chase on that Bradford outside kick chase pressure. But they have got Featherstone Rovers after a pleasing first set from Bradford. They didn't come up with the error. They did put the kick chase pressure on, made it to tackle 5, and now it's Featherstone moving the ball from their own 20-metre line, and they're on tackle number 2. So if you are just joining us, it is West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, syndicated coverage on Bulls TV, Mick the Game Caller Gleddle, Sunday afternoon rugby league here, as we see the King Vuniayawai, the Fijian international, carry Featherstone and make big meters upfield. Lewis Gorman's gone in straight into Fulton and Blake. They are on the last tackle, just shy of halfway. Turner, left-footed kicker, under pressure from Donaldson and Blake. Boot to ball. Hooley, Armitage let that one bounce. That one will go dead in goal over the dead ball line. We've had 2.5 minutes gone. A fierce, lively start here at Post Office Road. And it is Featherstone 0, Bradford 0. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV. And for those watching this one on the stream on Bulls TV, brought to you by First Bradford, the club's travel partner for 2025. Well, certainly, as we approach this highly anticipated match between Featherstone and Bradford, it's clear both sides are in a challenging phase of their seasons, each on a frustrating 3-game losing run. This one promises to be a real desperate dogfight with emotions running high as we see Guy Armitage up and over halfway, 5 metres inside the Featherstone half. Quick play the ball, Gildummy half. Now it's going to go towards Meadows. Meadows wrapped up. Good 15-metre run there from Meadows down the middle, just outside the Featherstone 30-metre line. Mitch Suter goes short and left towards Pele, and Pele looks for support. He's rolled over on tackle 4, and Bradford 15 out now from that Featherstone line. They go short side with Meadows. Meadows kicks into the in-goal area. Kieran Gill, and Suter's going to beat Kieran Gill. And Mitch Suter, it was his birthday on Thursday, and that's the perfect birthday gift there. The kick from Meadows behind the Featherstone defensive line, and it is Mitch Suter, the former Canberra Raider man, 24 years of old. 2 tries against Batley in the 1895 Cup. He's got his first championship try of the season. And what a perfect birthday present from James Meadows. Well, that was Nathan Wild, the Lee Leopards loanee. But you've got to ask, where was Lewis Gorman? Where was Lewis Gorman there, the fullback? There was no one at home. Bradford, in fact, were queuing up to apply downward pressure on the ball. And Kieran Gill, 3 tries already this term. He decided to leave it. And he might have just had a little bit of a glance out the back door there, Kieran Gill, and realised, hang on a second, it's birthday boy Mitch Suter. But clever, instinctive kicking there from James Meadows, realising there was nobody at home in the Featherstone in goal area, and that has given Bradford an early lead here. We have had 4 minutes gone on the clock here at Post Office Road. Luke Hooley is going to attempt the conversion attempt. He was not from 1 last week against Barrow. Kick predictor turned on, it's at 88%. Hooley makes no mistakes, so Suter with the early goods. And the early delivery from James Meadows. It is Featherstone Rovers 0, Bradford Bulls 6. West Yorkshire Radio syndicated coverage on a number of platforms this afternoon. Rugbyleague.com, please check that website out. And also Bulls TV. So Luke Hooley, in his third appearance for the Bradford Bulls, made his Bulls debut in that Challenge Cup defeat against Salford. He got the man of the match last week, and as we've seen in those last 2 games for Bradford against Salford and Barrow last week, he has that electric running game, ability to cause havoc with those opposition defences. And Bradford from the restart now with Franklin Pelly. They might go the distance here. Franklin Pelly passes the ball to Kieran Gill on the inside, and just when you want some composure from the Bulls, Franklin Pelly, it was like Jonah Lomu against Will Carlin at Twickenham in 95. He went 60 metres down that left-hand touchline, Franklin Pelly. And I'm sure Brian Noble, Lee Greenwood, they would have been saying, just take the tackle, Frank. In the end, he looked to find Gill on the inside. The ball's gone to ground. It remains Featherstone 0, Bradford 6 here. But you've just seen what Franklin Pellet brings to this Bradford side. Being missing in the second half against Salford and the full 80 minutes last week. And he was heading straight over there, going past Errol Alferts. So, bit of an early warning sign for Paul Cook. And Featherstone Rovers, they do trail the Bulls by 6 points to 0. We've had 5 minutes gone on the clock here. Featherstone have the scrum, 10 shy of halfway. Well, that was explosive. I was singing the praises of Luke Hooley and that man of the match performance last week, and his impact since that loan move from Castleford was confirmed. But here we go. The King playing the ball just on halfway. They're going to move it on that right-hand side, and it is the Lee Leopard at Loney, Nathan Wild, who's brought down 10 inside the Bradford half of the field. Danny Addy takes the line on, wrapped up there by Suter, Lawrence and Fulton. 2 tackles left here for Featherstone Rovers. As we said, they are 10th in the table. Bradford 6th, looking to return to winning ways as Turner draws in Suter, offloads the ball behind him to Day. Day wrapped up now by Fulton. Featherstone on the last, 25 away from the Bradford line. Danny Addy takes the line on, gives the ball to Aitkins. Aitkins kicks over the top. Armitage in the field of play, does well before he's finally brought down there by Alferts and Barley. One of 2 Hulkingston Rovers dual reg players in this Featherstone side this afternoon over on the far stand side. So if you are joining us, we've had 7 gone on the clock. It's Featherstone Rovers 0, Bradford Bulls 6. As we see Jaden Okinball now offloading the ball out of the tackle to Hooley. Hooley's going to be brought down there by Vinny Yayawat. And Keys is kicking early here on tackle 3, looking for a 40-20, and he's got the 40-20. It is a 40-20 from Joe Keys. It's only the second 40-20 of Bradford season, but they are going to say it was just outside the 40 here. So, we was a little bit premature there. It's just outside, according to the officials. And that is huge respite there for Danny Addy, who plays the ball literally, you've got to say, millimetres ahead of his own 20-metre line. So here we go. Once again, you've got to ask about the positioning of both Daryl Alferts and Connor Barley on Featherstone's left edge. That's where Bradford are clearly going in the opening exchanges here. They're up to halfway with Danny Addy. 8 gone on the clock now. Featherstone 0, Bradford 6. Bradford won here 24-14 last season. Only their second win in 10 years here. It's been a bit of a graveyard. They are on the last tackle, 10 inside the Bradford half. Centre field as it goes to Aitkins. And Callum Aitkins, the Kiwi, kicks downtown. And Hooley lets that one bounce into the in-goal area. It will bounce up kindly, though, for Luke Hooley. And also a kind bounce for Featherstone Rovers kick chase pressure, who Lewis Gorman there and Nathan Wild were leading that charge. Guy Armitage offloads the ball to Kieran Gale, and he goes past Alforts, and here goes Kieran Gale. Kieran Gale kicks on that left edge, looking for Meadows. Meadows won't get there. It'll be former Bradford man Connor Wynne. Bradford just going against the game plan, you feel. Keys tries to do a one-on-one ball steal from Connor Wynne. Wynne gets a quick play of the ball. Featherstone have the ball now with Jaden Hatton, one of 3 returning players this afternoon for Paul Cook to boost the troops. Don't forget, there's no Ryan Hampshire, no Ben Reynolds. As we said, they lost Will Gardiner to a HIA last week. Bradford equally exposed with George Tafua, Tom Holmes, Tyron Ott, all missing and likely to be missing for the next 7 or 8 weeks. Featherstone on halfway here with Vuni Iowa. Now it's Ade Turner. Good play there involving the young Hulkiston Rovers dual reg fullback Lewis Gorman, who plays the ball on the last, and it's Brad Day who kicks down towards Hooley, and Luke Hooley. It's a horror show at the back for the Bulls fullback, because on the last tackle, Brad Day, he was a one-man marching band. All the Featherstone attack was back on the halfway line. He has backed himself. He has chased his own kick. And Brad Day, what a moment, what a time for the 30-year-old former Castleford York Batleyman to score his first try of the season. It's right underneath the paws. And I was just going to say, prior to that move, Bradford, they have set out like a house on fire. They have broke the Featherstone Rovers try line on 3 occasions, but it's happening very, very early in the attacking play, in the tackle count. And I think privately Brian Noble will be absolutely filthy that despite the efforts of what Bradford are doing well, that they have broken, and rather showing that composure, they have come up with the errors immediately after that good work. Callum Turner from in front, we're locked up. 10 minutes gone on the clock here. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, syndicated coverage also on Bulls TV. Featherstone 6, Bradford 6. Well, I spoke to a couple of people before the game here. That's of the players and coaching staff variety, and everyone was under the illusion. Energy sapping conditions, 16, 17 degrees, big open field here. There's a lot of points on this pitch this afternoon. Bradford already up to 3 errors this afternoon after 10 minutes, and I'm sure Luke Cooley will not want to watch that one back on the review on the tape. Bit of a horror show from the 26-year-old homegrown Bradford product. I'm sure he will learn from that one. Featherstone on the restart here now with Alforts, joined from Wakefield Trinity in the off-season. Former Dewsbury, Salford, Castleford, Leeds winger. Featherstone going up the slope in this first half as Danny Addy's on halfway now. Will Jubb out of dummy half to Gorman, and he'll be rolled over on the last tackle. So Featherstone do well. They make it to the last after scoring points, and it will be boot to ball from Turner. Luke Hooley shielding the ball from, or should I say shielding his eyes from the sun as the ball come down, takes it on the full, and then gets the Brad Day, Will Jubb defensive treatment. And already you can see here from our vantage point, Featherstone do look short over on that left edge, and that's where Kieran Gill was starting to go before stepping back on the inside. And I think if Bradford they stick to the game plan as Brian Noble wants, that's his focus here, rather than the helter-skelter, the headless chicken stuff. That's probably the way to victory for Bradford this afternoon, as James Meadows offloads the ball out the tackle to Gill. Gill second carry in this set. Tackle 4 gone. 10 shy of halfway as Meadows takes the line on, looks for Donaldson, misses Donaldson, finds Keys. Keys out wide to Blake. Blake against Hatton. Blake steps past Hatton, finds Wynne, but he's got Ockimbo behind him. So while Wynne goes for Blake, Ockenbaugh moves back in field, and on the last tackle now, Bradford, they're 35 away from that Featherstone line. Ball goes in centre field to Keys. High hanging kick. He targets Olferts. Olferts does well. Takes it from the 10-metre line before he floats the ball to Lewis Gorman in centre field. And the young Hulkington Rovers fullback Lewis Gorman, he spent 2024 here at Featherstone on loan. Didn't score, but made 11 appearances for the blue and white shirted Featherstone Rovers here last season. So he knows the systems and structures, as we said. They're doing it tough, Featherstone. No Ryan Hampshire. Should be fit next week, potentially, for that quarter-final showdown against London here. Already ringing the changes. Paul Cook just about to bring on the troops as we see Clay Webb play the ball 5 shy of halfway. Job out a dummy half to Addy, and Danny Addy wrapped up on the last tackle now centre field. We've had 12 minutes gone on the clock here. Featherstone 6, Bradford 6. Aikins under pressure from Suter. Kicks, targets Hooley. Hooley this time takes this one straight on the full before immediately being clattered there by Clay Webb, the 22-year-old Australian. Former Canberra man, knows Mitch Suter from his Canberra Raiders days. And interesting about Clay Webb, 9 appearances, 5 tries, spent the 2024 season with the Newcastle Knights. Didn't make his NRL debut, but he's certainly highly thought of and looking to enjoy dropping down into the championship with Featherstone. Suter out of dummy half to Lawrence to Keys. Keys misses out Blake, finds Hooley. Hooley brought down 8 shy of halfway. Tackle left on this set for Bradford. Turner in defence with Hatton as we see Fulton up to halfway, and that's the 5th and last tackle. Just to the right of centre field here. They'll go on the short side with Keys. Keys targets the young Hulkington Rovers dual reg fullback Lewis Gorman, and Gorman immediately clattered by Donaldson and Suter. So the game now finding a little bit of rhythm, finding a little bit of love here as we see one of those changes with Jimmy Beckett coming on the field here. As we said, the rotations are going to be absolutely crucial as we see that first penalty of the afternoon given by Cameron Worsley. Zach Fulton penalised for holding down Connor Wynne in the tackle. So that will put Featherstone Rovers back on the attack. Well, when we spoke to Paul Cook after 3 defeats, certainly Featherstone boss Paul Cook says there's a lot of work to be done to turn around his side's fortunes. He said he's identified a number of things that have been compelling and compiling Featherstone's early season complacency. So he wants to see more from his side. That's the challenge. He knows there's going to be tough periods, certainly against a big physical side like Bradford. He wants them to stay in that arm wrestle. Featherstone 30 out now from the Bradford line after the first penalty of the afternoon. And once again, we're seeing some very, very strong, hard, direct running from the Featherstone middles. Here goes Addy in the 20, takes the line on. Addy goes past Donaldson, wrapped up there by G and Hooley. The 5 metres out in front of the post. Will Jubb, the former York man, dumped on his back. Last tackle coming up here. It's Featherstone 6, Bradford 6 at Post Office Road as they move the ball over on that right-hand side now with Aikins into the in-goal area. Safety first from Kieran Gill. Callum Aikins, the 27-year-old former Penrith Canberra Raiders man. He left Australia for the pastures of the Leigh Sports Village in 2022. Played a big, big part in Leigh reaching the promised land of the Super League, you might remember. So he is back in the championship with Featherstone Rovers. And now Bradford forced to do yet more defending here. We've had 18 minutes gone on the clock as we see Beckett driving the ball down the middle of the field. Fulton and Pele, the 2 Bradford markers. Jubb short on the right, direct and strong run there from Addy. 2 left on this set, the 20 metres out. Rovers 6, Bulls 6 as Beckett once again goes down the middle. Tackle 4, 1 left for Bradford to defend here as Jubb goes towards Addy to Turner to Gorman, and the ball's been intercepted by Ockenbaugh, but Ockenbaugh somehow gets the ball to Blake. I was going to say Ockenbaugh was ready to go, but Connor Wynne came in and just body checked the former Canterbury Bulldogs winger, and is finally brought down just outside his own 20-metre line. Well, we've just seen Featherstone come up with their third error of this game, so 3 errors apiece. And it's Featherstone 6, Bradford 6 here as Kieran Gill moves the ball over on that left-hand side. It's West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV. Hooley out of dummy half now. Matty G wrapped up on halfway. 3 Featherstone defenders in that defensive line coming up to meet the former Salford London Lee man. Here goes Ronan Michael, who's just been introduced on the field for Franklin Pele. One of those 5 ever presents for Bradford. Featherstone also 5 ever presents in their side. Last tackle, Keys from 40 metres out from the Featherstone line. Boot to ball. Connor Wing takes that 5 away from his own line. Runs lateral, underneath the post. Comes to the 10. Offloads the ball to Gorman. And Lewis Gorman makes a couple of extra metres there on what is a fresh set of 6 and a fresh tackle from Featherstone Rovers here. So we've just hit the 20-minute mark. First quarter gone. An early try from Mitch Suter after Meadows kicked behind the Featherstone line, and then both tries actually coming off kicks. We saw Brad Day with another similar individual effort, chipping ahead, no one in support. Hooley making a hash of it at fullback, losing possession. Day picking it up to score underneath the post. 6 points apiece, good intensity to this one here. So 20 gone. Featherstone coming over on this left-hand side here. Once again, Will Jubb straight out of dummy half there to Gorman. They're on the last. Callum Turner calls for the ball on this left-hand side, and that is where it goes. And Turner puts boot to ball. High hanging kick. Hooley has to shield his eyes from the sun. Takes it on the full. A little bit of a juggle there from Luke Hooley, the Castleford Tigers lone 8. In place of the injured Tom Holmes, who's out for around another 7 or 8 weeks. And Bradford, after that lively early start, they're in a bit of an arm wrestle here as Armitage now moves it over on that left-hand side. And the 10 shy of halfway on tackle number 2. Gill dummy half. Centre field now to Meadows. To Island International, Ronan Michael, who's wrapped up there by Beckett, Aikins and Wild. Suter to Keys. Keys caught on the shoulder by Addy. Tackle 3 gone. 5 inside the Featherstone half centre field. Suter to Meadows to Hooley. Good defence there from Featherstone, and Bradford on the last. 40 away from that Featherstone try line. It'll be Meadows. High hanging kick. Gorman has made a hash of it. In an offside position there is Callum Turner. It's a penalty to Bradford. I think it could have been a penalty either way because James Meadows was taken out. But this penalty is to the right-hand side of the post, 20 metres out. Bradford might look to go for 2 here, but they're going to keep the kicking tee on the sideline. Danny Addy just been spoken to by referee Cameron Worsley. As we said, he knows this fixture well. Cameron Worsley refereed this game last season at Odsall. Featherstone won it with a Ben Reynolds penalty goal, 2 minutes from time, 21-22 in a thriller. So Bradford declined the 2 points, 6-6, looking for more. Keys, Meadows, G, 5 metres out, left-hand side of the post. 3 tackles to go here. Suter, back to Donaldson, to Lawrence, and Michael Lawrence hasn't scored since 2023 in that game against Batley. He's rolled over underneath the post. Suter prime to go, and Ronan Michael crashes over. Has he got it down the Island International? He's protesting he has, but the officials say no. And Bradford's blockbuster forward, Ronan Michael, will have to go back to the 10. Tremendous scrambling defence there from Paul Cook's side. Tackle 4, 1 left. Suter now to Keys, to Meadows. It opens up in at the corner for Armitage, and Guy Armitage reaches out, puts the ball down, and it's another try for Guy Armitage against Featherstone Rovers. He scored a hat-trick for Toulouse here in 2023 when Toulouse won 36 points to 18. It's another try, this time with the Bradford Bulls, and it's Featherstone Rovers 6, Bradford Bulls 10. And we've had 23 minutes gone on the clock here. Well, you could see what was happening there. Good fluency. We've not seen that fluency and execution, it must be said, between that spine of Hooley, Meadows and Keys. But Brian Noble is certainly backing that new look spine to deliver When we spoke on Wednesday, Brian mentioned there's been elements of disruption that haven't helped it find its connectability or cohesion. And as Brian reiterated during that lengthy interview, you know, the spine of any rugby league team has to function and work together as a group, not as individuals. And you certainly feel that in certain games so far this year in 2025. We have seen Meadows and Keys. They've not worked together as a group, but they have tried to show and showcase their individual brilliance. And the reason why you feel they are a Bradford Bulls player. Well, Guy Armitage, his last try for Bradford was in the cup against Salford. He's up to 3 tries now for 2025, level with Kieran Gill. And Hooley, a very, very difficult touchline conversion attempt on the far stand side. Kick predictor, 41%. Just taking the full 90 seconds here, Luke Hooley. Drawing that imaginary line. This could be a crucial 2 points for Bradford. As Hooley, from that far stand touchline, sees that one just drifting. It caught the wind and it just carried it over the black dot. Armitage and Hooley, try scorer, conversion scorer. It is Featherstone Rovers 6, Bradford Bulls 12 here on West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, with 24 minutes gone on the clock. Stick around at half time. We've got a major update on the future of the sport of rugby league. It involves NRL Europe. It involves the Rugby Football League. And a very, very big meeting that takes place on Tuesday at Batley. More on that at half time. But with 24 minutes gone, Featherstone 6, Bradford 12. Ronan Michael on the restart, up to their own 10. Donaldson goes on this left-hand side up to Bradford's 20-metre line. Certainly energy-sapping stuff here as we say goodbye to those muddy, soggy, wet January, February pitches, and we herald the second season of the year, spring. Lovely spring sunshine here as Ronan Michael making an immediate impact. We'll see Joe Keys kick on tackle 4. Good kick there from Keys, but it's just gone down the slope. The ball did appear to be holding up, but it just got a little bit more momentum as it bounced along, and it has gone dead in goal, and that will allow Featherstone fullback Gorman to tap the ball on what is a 0 tackle. Well, you're certainly seeing the importance of the kicking game here this afternoon. That kick from Meadows, forcing the error from Gorman. Turner had to concede the penalty, otherwise Blake and Ockenbaugh were the proverbial predators hunting the loose ball to score, but they didn't go for 2. They backed themselves, and on tackle 4, a lovely, well-worked try, lovely passing out on that left edge between Hooley, Keys and Meadows to send Guy Armitage in. Here come Featherstone on halfway with Addy. Doesn't take the tackle, finds Turner. Turner to Day. Day run down there by Michael and Fulton. And they're on tackle number 4 here, Featherstone. 30 out from the Bradford line as Jubb finds Turner, and the former Dewsbury Newcastle man is wrapped up on the last. And Featherstone find themselves 30 metres out centre field. Addy now will put boot to ball. The former Bradford man targets Ockenbaugh on this wing. He does well, does Ockenbaugh. Takes it from the clear blue sky, and he's rolled over on Bradford's 20-metre line. That is a changeover in possession. It remains Featherstone Rovers 6, Bradford Bulls 12 here. Bradford with a slight advantage, you feel, in this first half. Nowhere near as prolific as the slope at Batley's Mount Pleasant, but certainly it does have a little bit of an edge, a little bit of an advantage. After this set of 6, we'll give you the latest scores in the Championship and League One. Don't forget there's that big game between Halifax and Batley taking place as we see Keys now drop off the ball to Fulton. Fulton's going to be wrapped up on the Bradford 40. Turner, Day, Hatton involved in that 3-man tackle, and that will allow Suter some space to find Lawrence. Lawrence to Michael. Michael's got Meadow on the inside. Ball has been palmed backwards there by Beckett towards his own try line, and what a play there from Featherstone's interchange forward, Jimmy Beckett, because if Beckett doesn't disrupt that pass, underneath the post goes James Meadows. It's Barrow 0, York 6 at Craven Park. Halifax pumping Batley 24-0, and Sheffield leading Oldham 6-0 at Olympic Legacy Park. Well, it's looking like Halifax, their season is going through the stratosphere. They'll have the week off next week. and they'll go into that Good Friday game against Bradford in a fortnight's time, top of the table, unbeaten. Featherstone on halfway on that last tackle. Aikens now from halfway, boot to ball into the sky. Hooley takes that one down. He's wrapped up 15 out from his own try line. We've got 12 to go to half time here. Still very, very tight. Still very, very tense between these fierce championship rivals. Brian Noble will be delighted that Bradford have applied some calmness and smartness to proceedings. As we said, I think when they do the review and they watch Franklin Pellicer and Girl Armitage all powering down the middle and then coming away from the game plan, as Luke Hooley tries a 40-20. This time Luke Hooley will get the 40-20. We'll wait for the call. Cameron Worsley says yes. This time it's 5 metres inside the Featherstone 20. Listen to the noise from the Bradford supporters. Hooley ringing around Post Office Road here. Well, he is Bradford's sole homegrown player in this side this afternoon. Eben Skur was rated 50-50, could have played, wanted to play, but ultimately Brian Noble is keeping Bradford's homegrown forward back for next week's game against the Sheffield Eagles in the quarter-final. So a full set of 6 on the Featherstone line here. Lawrence goes short, Suda to Keys, Mrs. Fulton, Meadows, Hooley, rugby league poetry from the Bradford Bulls as Ockibor squeezes in at the corner. Postconnor win, past Callum Turner, and what a try there for Jaden Ockibor, his 3rd of the season, and the Australian, the former NRL Bulldog. He is really loving life at the Bradford Bulls, and it could go from bad to worse here for Featherstone Rovers because Featherstone have lost Callum Turner to a HIA. The clock is stopped, play is stopped. The doctors come straight on the field here. Must have been a clash of heads as Jaden Ockibor squeezed in at the corner. And that was a lovely, lovely play. Fulton, clearly the decoy, didn't impede the Featherstone defence. That caused confusion and hesitancy, and it was that moment there, that lovely drop ball between Keys and Meadows, linking perfectly, that caused Featherstone to do the double shift, and you kind of saw they all stepped in field, and that left Gorman, Hatton and Wynne exposed, which then meant half-back Callum Turner had to shift across. Well, he's getting back up to his feet here is Callum Turner, and they're going to say he's okay to continue. So that is a really good, pleasing sign. And you can just see just how close Jaden Ockibor was to that touchline. You literally get the 30-metre centimetre ruler out here, and that's what we're talking. Hooley right on this main stand touchline. Bradford's 33rd try of the season. And it was just the clinicalness, the execution. No one inside the camp at Tong has been overly concerned about that lack of fluidity. Brian has always remained positive. When you speak to Joe Keys and James Meadows, you know, they know those elements of connection will come. They are working hard, and that is why the players are putting in a lot of hard work in training at Tong. So Suter, Armitage, Ockibor, Hooley from this main stand touchline across the face, waved away. Score remains here at Post Office Road. It's a healthy-ish advantage for Bradford at this stage. We have around about 8 minutes to go here, but it is Featherstone Rovers 6, Bradford Bulls 16, after Suter, Armitage and Ockibor have breached the Featherstone Rovers line in this first half. That is sending the 800-900 or so Bradford supporters behind the post into delight. So 7 to go to half time. Try scorer Ockibor takes it in the in-goal area, gives it there to Ronan Michael, who has a little bit of that Irish mongrel that all coaches like, and he's 20 metres out from his own try line. Lily's just come on here for Suter in the closing minutes of this first half. That'll allow a little bit of energy out of the ruck as we see Fulton on tackle 2. Lily now to Hallis, who's also come on. Meadows, lovely cut-out ball towards Gill. Gill wrapped up there by Webb and Aikens. 5 shy of halfway here. It is Featherstone 6, Bradford 16. And as we say, we've got 7 to go to half-time here, as Hallis now is caught on the right shoulder blade by Jordan Williams, the former London man, who was a teammate of James Meadows and Emmanuel Waney in the capital last season. Lawrence goes down the middle. Well, Michael Lawrence made 15 appearances last season. He's already up to 9, keeping his promise that he is fitter, fresher than he's ever been on the last tackle. Keys. Oh, they've allowed the ball to bounce here, and there's danger as Wonga Blake pounces down. A 4th try here to the Bradford Bulls, but the touch judge will disallow it. They're going to say there's been a push, and Cameron Worsley is going to say there was a push in that kick chase. Oh, well, Wonga Blake got his first championship try last week in that Friday night fixture. Once again, the kicking game of Keys and Meadows causing Featherstone absolute pandemonium at the back. Well, we mentioned Hooley has made the error because of the sun. Well, Lewis Gorman there, the young 19-year-old Hulkinson Rovers dual reg player, he made the same mistake. He was trying to shield his eyes, lost the ball for just a moment. That allowed it to bounce into the in-goal area. Blake got the downward pressure, but referee Cameron Worsley saying that kick chase pressure, there was a push on one of those Featherstone players. Only the second penalty that Bradford have conceded this afternoon. So, 6 to go, 2 half-time, and Featherstone now on tackle 4 with Brad Dave. 10 inside the Bradford half of the field. Lawrence and Keys, the 2 defenders. Out of dummy half from the Australian Connor Jones, who's just come on for Will Jubb. And this will be the last tackle, and they're 30 metres out here, Featherstone. Down by 10. 3 tries to 1. Turner. Left-footed kick. Targets Hooley and Ockenbaugh. Ockenbaugh takes that one and is immediately wrapped by Hatton and Wynne. And Hatton, one of those 3 returning Featherstone players, trying to push the Australian over the dead ball, over the try line, but he managed to just put the handbrake on there. And now it's Wonga Blake tackle 2. Well, Bradford, this is one of those sets where they're just going to have to roll the sleeves up and do the tough stuff, and it will be Ockenbaugh 1, Blake 2, Armitage tackle 3, Addy and Jones in defence for Paul Cook's side. Little bit of a slow set this, less energy being used by the Bulls, and they're on tackle 4 with Hallis, just outside their own 20-metre line. Lilly, sharp shoots, anything Suter can do, Lilly can do, and Lilly has Hooley on the inside, finds Hooley. Hooley has Keys, ball has been lost backwards, but the officials say knock on. Joe Keys recovered possession for Bradford there, and he's protesting to referee Cameron Worsley, but they are going to say the pass from Hooley to Keys did go forward initially. Well, there was a huge danger sign there. We've just said it was a bit of a pedestrian, slowish, low energy kind of set, and then on tackle 4, Jordan Lilly from 25 shy of halfway carries Bradford 50 metres, and the error finally come from Hooley, who was looking to move the ball out wide to Keys, who was supporting Hooley on the outside, who had supported Lilly on the outside, 30 away from the Featherstone line. So Bradford's 4th error in this first half, and I think Brian Noble, Lee Greenwood, Keith Senior can kind of live with that. We've had no set restarts. We've had 1 goal line dropout forced by the Bulls, and now another error, this time Featherstone, as we see Michael Lawrence put the pressure on, and Danny Addy disrupting that ball. Well, Brian Noble knows his Bradford side are playing below par, certainly going into this game this afternoon at this stage of the season. Well, he challenged his side to show improvement and learning and rectify those areas that are letting Brian themselves and the supporters down. Well, you've got to say, Brian might have felt like a 12-inch vinyl stuck on repeat. But, you know, he has repeated those same messages for the last fortnight or so, and the time, certainly, from the Bradford Bulls has seen them spring into action in this first half now as Hooley to Ockenbaugh. Ockenbaugh shows Wing on the outside. The pass on the inside, though, from Ockenbaugh towards Blake has been picked off by Jaden Hatton, and Jaden Hatton had to make that play there, the former Widnes Viking man, because Ockenbaugh was heading into touch regardless of what he did after showing Connor Wynne the outside. So good defence from the former Hull Bradford man, now sees Featherstone as a home, and Bradford now putting defensive pressure on Brad Day, who plays the ball 12 out from his own try line. Connor Wynne to Aikins. Aikins tries to go through a gap, but Keys, Meadows, Hallis, Lawrence up to the task there. They're on tackle 4 here, still firmly deep inside their own half as Claire Webb goes and tries to get past Jordan Lilly and Mary G, and that's the last tackle here. So just seen a couple of sort of scatty errors at the end of this first half. 2 to the Bulls, 1 to Featherstone as the kick goes up on the last, and Connor Jones kicks towards the try line, but the bounce of the ball, well, when you watch that one back on the replay, those watching on the stream, you'll see that it just ever so slightly goes into touch on that far stand touchline before Daryl Alferts could get there. So that is a relieving bounce of the ball. But we've just seen Bradford up to error number 5, Featherstone now up to error number 6. And we have 3 minutes to go to half-time here. We'll go through all the latest scores at half-time and focus on what has happened in this topsy-turvy world of rugby league. Don't forget to check out rugbyleague.com. The great rugby league aficionado Steve Mascord bringing rugby league content and coverage on that platform. So, Bradford 16-6 up, looking for more points here with Hooley to Gill. Out wide to Armitage, and Armitage has brought clear, and Bradford will get a 4th try before half-time because Armitage, it is meticulous. The pass oozing with precision, and it's Kieran Gill. Try number 4 of the season for Kieran Gill. He improves the try and the attempt from Luke Hooley, and just like that, it is Keys Meadows out to Hooley. The Bradford spine, very, very clinical, playing with conviction, and not for the first time in this first half. That left edge defence of Connor Barley, Daryl Elforts, Lewis Gorman, cruelly exposed. And just when you think Armitage could have done it himself, showing Alferts on the outside, the former Toulouse rugby union man, he unselfishly passed the ball back on the inside to Kieran Gill. Try number 4 of the season for Kieran Gill. Bradford's leading try scorer in each of the last 3 seasons since his arrival from Newcastle. And that just really blows this scoreboard out here as we head towards half-time. Luke Hooley, kick predictor here, saying 100%. We'll see what happens. Don't want to do the Don Fox treatment. Well, don't forget this game this afternoon is the Peter Fox Memorial Trophy. There goes the hooter, so you can see how crucial that play and score were for Brian Noble and the Bradford Bulls. The hooter sounding. Kick predicted 100% for Luke Hooley. Statistically, prior to this game, it was James Meadows who was 4 from 6 who was the most accurate. So Luke Hooley does add the extra 2 points after the half-time hooter. And what a strong first half showing here by Brian Noble and the Bradford. I know we're on West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com this afternoon, but check out the full 80 minutes. And I'm sure after Tuesday we will do an Inside the Game on Facebook with all the details, what managed to come my way from what I think is a very, very important meeting that is going to take place in Batley. It's an opportunity for all clubs to discuss, influence how they feel the future of rugby league and what it should look like. I hope that makes sense. As we said, there's pros and cons to NRL Europe, pros and cons to a 14-team Super League. As we said, one of those questions that does need to be answered, and perhaps it will on Tuesday at Batley, is what should be the optimum number of teams in the Super League, in the Championship, in League One. It's just gone 4 o'clock here. It's the last weekend in March. Glorious sunshine. West Yorkshire Radio, West Yorkshire Rugby League, rugbyleague.com, syndicated coverage, also going out on Bulls TV. Cameron Worsley just waiting for the call from the pitch side official to say we're good to go. Bradford first use of the ball with a healthy 22-6 lead. So 22 points to 6. Brian Noble and the Bulls lead Featherstone Rovers here. Well, since Brian Noble came back to the Bradford Bulls. He's always had his thoughts and messages to align with and focus on the progress and positives of his Bradford side. And I think that message and that reminder from Brian and the coaching staff this week to the players that the championship is tough and you have to be on your game every week. Otherwise, as Barrow did last week, they pull your pants down and slap you behind. Come to fruition. Well, that's not the start Bradford wanted after a delayed pause there. Callum Turner's restart has forced Bradford to spill the ball 15 metres out centre field underneath the post. So it's an early opportunity to Featherstone to potentially narrow this gap still and inject some morale and confidence into proceedings. It's a glorious Sunday afternoon here in Featherstone. James Beckett carries it down the middle on tackle number 2. Hallis and Lawrence go for the legs. Ronan Michael comes in, so the 4 metres out, rolled over on his back. Jones now to Addy. Turner has had his pass intercepted by Okinbaugh, but Okinbaugh can't hold it in. Okinbaugh went for the glory. It's a valiant effort there from Jaden Okinbaugh. So it's 2 early errors at the start of this second half by Bradford. They're now up to 7. And I think Brian, but Lee Greenwood can kind of live with an error like that when Okinbaugh is certainly looking to disrupt that passage of play heading out wide towards Jaden Hatton and Connor Wynn. Connor Wynn, incidentally, the former Bradford man, 5 tries already this season. This time Featherstone go on that right-hand edge here with Callum Aitkins. And Aitkins is just a couple of metres out from that Bradford line on tackle 1. Jones goes out a dummy half, back on the 10 to Addy. Addy now goes down the middle here with Jordan Williams, the 27-year-old former London Widnes man. He's 5 out underneath the post, brought down there by Ronan Michael. Jones now to Beckett. The former Dewsbury man is going to be halted by Lilly, halted by Hallis, the 2 former Leeds men. Lawrence comes in as the 3rd man. There's 2 tackles left here for Featherstone. Sun's gone behind the clouds here, and it's going to be Brad Day looking for his 2nd of the afternoon. He's on top of the Bradford line, inside the field of play on tackle number 4. Back to the 10 to go with Danny Addy. Now to Callum Aitkins. Short ball towards Webb, and Clay Rebb is going to be halted there by G. And this is the 5th and last tackle here. Bradford's defence having a thorough examination right at the start of this second half as Turner puts boot to ball. And Brad Day has a 2nd. Has he got it down before the dead ball line? Cameron Worsley says yes. And on the 5th and last tackle, it is Callum Turner, just like James Meadows did to start this game. A deft little grubber kick, rolled off the bootlaces, perfectly weighted, and quickest to pounce right at the start of this second half. Brad Day, he gets his 2nd. And I think we might be back down to 10 points here right at the start of this second half. We're in the 44th minute here. And that was clever play from Callum Turner on that last tackle. To be fair, Joe Keys, Meadows, even Hewlett, they were all like the clickers of a pinball machine, sticking the feet out, trying to get the ball. In the end, it just went millimetres past Joe Keys. Very good angled kick there from Turner. And Brad Day judged to have grounded it in the in-goal area before he slid over the dead ball line. Perfect start, perfect response at the start of the second half. Callum Turner does make it a 10-point game. Featherstone 12, Bradford 22 right at the start of this second half. Well, we've not said the famous strap line yet. Are we going to say it this afternoon? Bradford had a comfortable 22-6 lead, but as you know, with these types of games, these eagerly anticipated Featherstone-Bradford showdowns, the rivalry, that air of desperation by both sides to return to winning ways. So, 4 minutes gone right at the start of this second half. Featherstone 12, Bradford 12. Strap yourselves in. This next 35 and a half minutes might be somewhat spectacular. 1895 Cup action next weekend. We'll, of course, confirm our live broadcast schedule in due course, but we will tell you it's at Bardercard Odsal for that mouth-watering quarter-final between Bradford and Sheffield. Brad Day, the try scorer, has gone down here under a tackle by Lillian Fulton. Cameron Worsley will stop the clock. And almost certain on a hot, sweaty, humid afternoon here in Featherstone. As we mentioned pre-match, in the pre-match amble, the job of the coaching and physio staff, bringing on the fluids, the water, the energy drinks, absolutely crucial here. So Brad Day gets the all clear from the Featherstone Rovers physio, and he'll play the ball 15 shy of halfway, 20 in from the far stand side. Jones in at dummy half to Gorman. Gorman just fronts up the young teenager, and on the restart after the points at the start of this second half, Callum Turner boots a ball on the last, high hanging kick. Hooley takes it on the 20, moves the ball wide to Armitage, and Armitage brought down on his own 30-metre line here. Good kick chase pressure there, but it is going to be a bit of a sinful pressure penalty there. Nathan Wild and Connor Barlett just holding Armitage down in the tackle. Bradford leading the penalty count 3-2. And now Bradford up and over halfway. Kieran Gill will tap it to Meadows. Meadows to Lawrence. 19th professional season, Michael Lawrence, the Jamaican international. Started his career with Huddersfield in 2007. Hooley now tries to ghost through a gap, but Callum Turner wraps him up, and they're just outside the Featherstone 20 with 3 tackles to go on this set. First time in this second half, Bradford have been down at this end of the field. Featherstone 12, Bradford 22. Lilly out of dummy half inside the 20 to Keys, to Hooley, to Blake. Blake's wrapped up 10 away. Tackle 4, 1 left here. Quick play the ball from the Fijian international, former Penrith Panther man, as Keys takes the line on, finds Michael Lawrence, and Michael Lawrence, look what it means. He will break the try-scoring duct. And Michael Lawrence, the nude run will not take place in 2025. It's his first try in a season and a half. His last try was against the Batley Bulldogs in a 42-6 win. And it was Joe Keys. Very, very reminiscent of what Joe Keys did last season for Halifax, when he scored those 16 tries from those 29 appearances. He dropped the shoulder, took the line on, drew in Lewis Gorman, and then it was that pass on the outside to the support of Michael Bruno Lawrence. You might have just picked it up there on the audio, the Bradford fans, the 900 or so behind the post, all chanting in tandem, Bruno. Well, Michael Lawrence doesn't score many, it must be said. The 34-year-old on his 9th appearance of the season. He's up and running in 2025. He'll enjoy that one. Kick predictors at 100%. Hooley from right in front of the post here. We're in the 48th minute here at Post Office Road, so an early try from Brad Day, cancelled out by Michael Lawrence. And Luke Hooley, coolly, calmly, concise with a boot, Hooley adds the extra 2, and it is Featherstone Rovers 12, the Bradford Bulls 28 here. Lovely support play from Michael Lawrence. Well, as we said, he's only scored 2 tries in his 3 seasons at the Bulls. But he'll enjoy that one, will Michael? Let me tell you, we're back underway here. West Yorkshire Radio. Rugbyleague.com. 9 minutes gone in this second half. Bradford back in control with that lead, as we see Hallis now to Meadows, to Hooley, along the line to Gill, up to halfway. Kieran Gill wrapped up there by Connor Barlett, the Hull Kingston Rovers dual reg youngster, the 20-year-old. Had a couple of loan spells here at Featherstone last season, also the York Knights, so he does have a bit of championship experience. Lawrence, the try scorer, brought down 15 inside the Featherstone half as Keys now links with Meadows. Meadows to Fulton. What a ball as Fulton back on the inside. Bradford go back to back. And it's James Meadows at the side of the post. Look what it means to those Bradford supporters. And as early here as the 49th minute at Post Office Road, those quick-fire tries from Lawrence and Meadows could have sealed Featherstone's fate. It could be a fourth consecutive defeat for Featherstone Rovers. And it's those 900 Bradford fans behind the posts. They have the trumpet, they have the drum going. And once again, you've just seen those elements, those cohesive elements of that spine linking. 50 minutes now on the clock. All of a sudden, Lawrence and Meadows, those back-to-back tries. This could be a thumping victory for Bradford, and let me tell you, there's not been many of those here in recent memory. As we said, Bradford arriving here, exposed. George Tafua out for 3 months with a hamstring. Tyron Ott also 3 months with that fractured cheekbone. Tom Holmes still around 3 months away. Eben Skur could have featured, but not risked. Kick predicts 100% for Luke Hewlett. It's looking like Luke Hewlett will take over the goal kicking. He's been on fine form this afternoon with the boots, and that's another 2 points to Bradford's total. Featherstone Rovers 12, Bradford Bulls 34 here at Post Office Road. Well, Brian Noble and the Bradford Bulls have spent the week looking at themselves. Because Bradford, prior to this afternoon, clear to say, they've not been playing how they started the season. Brian Noble referencing loads of improvement, and we're certainly seeing that this afternoon. Certainly seeing the fitness, the growth in that kicking game, kicks in general, kicks for tries, the improvement in the passing. Bradford really building on that momentum of the first half here at the start of the second half, and they are on the restart. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Guy Armitage tackle 2. As Lilly locks the ball on at dummy half. He just took a little bit of a stumble there, Jordan Lilly. A little bit like a jack-in-a-box there. They'd clearly round up the springs, and Lilly with a little bit of excitement there as he tried to up the intensity, just stumbling on the dry, dusty playing surface, and has come up with an error which just somewhat alleviates a little bit of the pressure on this Featherstone side. Well, you almost suspect here, with 28 to go, it's Featherstone with those self-exploding errors and those momentum-killing errors that are affecting them. But if they can get a try here, and this is going to put Bradford's defence and that solidity under the microscope. Featherstone going down the slope in this second half. Bradford will want to show a little bit of tightness. James Beckett, tackle 1. Addy to Williams, tackle 2. Penalty to Featherstone. Zach Fulton going just a little bit high there on Jordan Williams, the former London man. It's a penalty in front of the post. We've only had 6 penalties, 3 penalties apiece this afternoon from Cameron Worsley. So very, very disciplined performance from both Featherstone and Bradford. But Featherstone not even thinking about 2 points. They need a try. They need 4 points or 6. Pretty desperate, pretty quick. As Addy links with Aikins to Gorman. A chance here now for Barley. And Connor Barley's wrapped up 5 away from the line. Alforts, who's been kept quiet this afternoon, moves the ball back towards Aikins. Aikins to Addy. Addy now to Williams. And Williams met there by Nathan Mason, who's just come on the field. Lillian Hallis underneath the Bradford post, 10 metres out, dead set central. Jones goes to Addy. Addy to Beckett. Beckett tries to crash over, but he can't. Tackle 4. 1 left here for Bradford to defend. They lead Featherstone by 34 points to 12 as Jones goes towards Turner. Ball's come off Ockimbaugh. Knock on against Jaden Ockimbaugh. It's now going to be a 4th consecutive set of 6 that Featherstone will have on the Bradford line. As once again, you can see what Featherstone are trying to do. Aikins and Turner trying to shift the ball towards Hatton, the former Swinton man, and Connor Wynne. And Bradford coming up with that error. And I think Brian Noble will be quite happy that, or certainly never happy with the error, but when you are going for the intercept, you're disrupting what potentially leads to a try. I think Brian Noble will be relatively pleased. More defending, though, for Bradford to do. We've still got 26 minutes to go from the scrum. Aikins to Gorman to Alferts. Alferts crosses in at the corner, and the Featherstone comeback is on here in the sunshine. Daryl Alferts, his 5th try of the season. 2 tries for Wakefield in that Championship Grand Final win over Toulouse last season. He's now got a score against the Bulls, and the former Salford, Castleford, Leeds, Wakefield winger, has he just given Featherstone Rovers a sniff? It's Featherstone Rovers 16, Bradford Bulls 34, 55 gone, 25 to go. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Just what Paul Cook and Featherstone needed. We got the music pumping. It's like being on the waltzers at the big fairground in the park. It was good, controlled play there from Featherstone and Paul Cook's side. Training ground move. Brian Noble might just be asking about Bradford's sliding defence because Matty G was exposed on the touchline. Callum Turner, can he convert from this main stand touchline? He can, you know. Featherstone narrow the gap further still. Featherstone Rovers 18, Bradford 34. Free from the boot of Callum Turner. He played under ex-Bradford Bulls boss Eamon O'Carroll when he was a Newcastle Thunder man. So West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. Featherstone 18, Bradford 34. Well, if Featherstone score next, all bets are off. Bradford just need to keep rolling their sleeves up and digging deep, doing what was working well, sticking to that game plan. Alferts, the try scorer there, plays the ball as they once again come down the middle now with Danny Addy, who runs 20 or so metres lateral from the touchline to centre field. Jones now to Turner, takes on the Bradford defence, wrapped up 5 shy of halfway there, Callum Turner. Back in centre field now from Jones to Aikins. Aikins towards Webb. Clay Webb wrapped up on what is now the last tackle. He'll play the ball. Will the former Canberra Raider, Newcastle Nightman. High hanging kick from Aikins on the last, dealt with there by Hooley. And Hooley now will turn defence into attack. But look at this here, all of a sudden, Featherstone, they're like the Doctor in the TARDIS. They've regenerated, they're revived, and they're certainly looking to put Bradford under pressure as we see tackle 2 with Ockimbaugh, tackle 3 with Wonga Blake. Grand final winner, remember, with Penrith, that try. Plays the ball 15 shy of halfway, back in centre field here with Hooley to Meadows. Meadows takes the line on tackle number 4. 1 left here for Brian Noble and the Bulls. Featherstone 18, Bradford 34. Lilleauder acting half. He will put boot to ball. He'll look to touch on that far stand side. Bounce of the ball, though, will be excellent there. Not quite the 40-20. It is a 44-4. It has gone 4 metres out from the Featherstone line. Pinpoint accuracy, precision from Jordan Lilly. He's played in the last 60 consecutive Bradford Bulls games. He, alongside Blake, Lawrence, Fulton and Michael, is the 5th Bradford player to have played in all 9 competitive outings so far. Well, the game just finding a little bit of rhythm after that sort of you score, we score at the start of this second half. Half-time, Bradford led 22-6. Day, Alferts adding 12 points. Lawrence and Meadows adding 12 points to Bradford's 22. 34 plays, 18 here. 22 left on the clock. Featherstone just moving the ball down the middle here. Play was stopped for a couple of seconds there with Connor Wynne going up a little bit gingerly. We'll keep an eye on him as he limps over towards the far stand touchline. Featherstone on the last here. Callum Aikins once again, boot to ball. Hooley palms the ball back towards his own line. Safety first there from the 26-year-old. And Luke Hooley now will turn defence into attack, and he's 25 shy of halfway on tackle number 1. Keys out of dummy half to Walkinbaugh, to Meadows. Touch to Featherstone hand. Kieran Gill picks it up. Are we going back for the scrum? I don't think they've gone over the advantage line here. Good decision there from Cameron Worsley. It did touch, I think, Claire Webb's hand. Clearly not forward by Claire Webb into the Bradford 20-metre line. Bradford did recover possession, but Kieran Gill was tackled 10 out from his own try line. So it will be scrum, head and feet to Bradford. Very, very good decision there by the officials. No real advantage for Bradford. And it does take a little bit of time off the clock. Not that Bradford are the ones watching the clock. Featherstone Rovers looking, realising the clock and scoreboard firmly against them. From the scrum, Guy Armitage will break clear. And Guy Armitage, up the slope here, has made 20 metres and he's carried Bradford 10 shy of halfway, tackle 1. Lily now to Nathan Mason. Mason, a big clattering fen there on Brad Day. Makes an extra 10 metres on the halfway line, tackle 2. Lily to Keys. Keys to the grandson of Australian NRL immortal Bob. That's Zach playing the ball, the former Manly Sea Eagle. First set restart of the afternoon given because Fulton was being held down in the tackle. Bradford know a 7th try here probably puts this game to bed. We've on the hour mark, 20 to go here at Post Office Road. Featherstone 18, Bradford 34. Well, we said that before match there might be loads of points, and that's proven to be the case. Keys to Meadows. Meadows kicks towards the in-goal area. Hooley chasing. Who gets to the ball? It's a try to Kieran Gill. Kieran Gill touches it down, and he has a double. And it's as easy as that. The kick there from Meadows into the in-goal area. Daryl Alferts, I think, has made a huge boo-boo there. He's lost the ball, and Kieran Gill touches down for what is now his 5th try of the season. Well, it might have taken Kieran Gill a little bit of time to get up and running, but Bradford's leading try scorer over the past 3 seasons since his move from the North East back to West Yorkshire. That one probably makes this one a little bit too tough for Featherstone to come back here. A 7th try for Bradford, 38 plays 18. Suter, Armitage, Walkinbaugh, Lawrence, Meadows, and a brace for Kieran Gill. So his 5th try of the season, his 2nd this afternoon. And just when you talk about coach killers, Paul Cook must be absolutely pulling his hair out at watching that, because Daryl Alferts, all he has to do is just recover the ball from the in-goal area. But that kick chase pressure of Hooley, Gill and Armitage just causing the experienced Super League winger Daryl Alferts to cough the ball up. A criminal error that Bradford have punished. Kick predictor here for Luke Hooley with 18 minutes to go. He's only saying 39%. It is right on this main stand touchline. Just one miss this afternoon, Luke Hooley. This will take Bradford's total out to 40. If this one goes between the posts, which I think it will, you know. Featherstone 18, Bradford 40. Second half tries from Lawrence, Meadows, and a second from Gill. Bradford in complete control of this one at 40 points to 18. Hooley goes out to 6 from 7. Well, maybe Bradford need to spend the week looking at themselves every week, because Bradford are certainly delivering, in my opinion, as someone who's been there from the dark pre-Christmas days of pre-season games against Keighley and Odsall on the 22nd December to the lovely spring sunshine here. It is a weakened Featherstone side. Bradford won't get carried away, but certainly with 63 minutes gone in this game, this is probably one of the strong showings from Bradford. Certainly that spine. Here goes Keys up and over halfway. Well, it's the ease that Bradford now are swarming forward. They're already 25 out from that Featherstone line with tackles in the bag on the restart now as Hallis finds Meadows. Meadows goes behind Mason, goes behind Hallis, goes behind Michaels, goes behind Keys, fronts up, tries to burst past Callum Turner, but he can't. He's just to the right-hand side of the post. Blake goes in there and acts in half. It goes to Keys. Keys puts one up. Hallis putting pressure there on Webb, but he's done well there as the 22 Australasian, Claire Webb, the back row forward. But had to put his body on the line there. You've got Nathan Mason, Hallis, Fulton, and Michael, Ronan Michael, all in close proximity. Takes a very brave individual to do that. Well, as we head towards the final 15 or so minutes here, we're going to put the man of the match poll out on Facebook for you lovely people to vote. So head to the Facebook page, and I think we've got to be brutally honest. We are putting Luke Hooley, we are putting James Meadows, we are putting Joe Keys in there in terms of their influence on proceedings this afternoon and how the spine has clicked as we see Wonga Blake up and away. Blake finds the support of Hooley, and here goes Hooley on the inside. He's taking Gorman on down the middle. He's still going Hooley. Finally brought down there by Aikins and Addy. Quick play the ball. The pole can wait. Bradford are looking for more tries here with Guy Armitage, who puts the fend in. Back inside to Kieran Gill. Gill. Back to Armitage. Oh, that's one of the tries of the season. Harlem Globetrotter stuff from the Bradford Bulls. It was Hooley's break. Down the middle, supporting that right edge run from Wonga Blake. And Hooley, quick play the ball. Oh, Bradford were just toying with Featherstone there like the newborn kitten who's just been given the toy mouse and the catnip. Oh, Guy Armitage, that will go down as one of those special tries on the highlights reel. Bradford, oh, the knives are out here. Armitage gets on the act, his second of the afternoon. Well, we were just going to go with that man of the match, Paul. I think you've got to say Hooley, Meadows, Keys. And I think Guy Armitage gets the nod. But take nothing away from Michael Lawrence, Mitch Suter, Jordan Lillett, Matty G. Franklin Pellet has just come back on the field, incidentally, for the final 15 minutes. This could go from bad to worse here for Featherstone Rovers. Well, it was almost an indescribable passage of play there. Wonga Blake, from the kickoff on that far stand side, he just went 30 metres up to halfway, found the support on the inside of Hooley. Hooley carried the ball 20 out from that Featherstone line, centre field. Lily straight in there at dummy half. Gill, Armitage, Harlem Globetrotter stuff, and Guy Armitage goes past Olferts in at the corner. Kieran Gill could have got the hat-trick, but again, you're seeing that side before self very evident as Luke Hooley from the touchline just fades across the face. It is Featherstone Rovers 18, Bradford Bulls 44. Hooley 6 from 8. And it's been a long time since Bradford have enjoyed a result of this magnitude at Post Office Road. And it's just the perfect tonic for Brian Noble going into that mouth-watering quarter-final cup tie at Odsall next week. Bradford, 2 games from Wembley, says the marketing. Everybody will be wanting to flock to Odsall if Bradford play like this. We've still got 14 minutes to go here on West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, syndicated coverage on Bulls TV. And it is Bradford in complete control, 44 points to 18. James Donaldson's caught high here on the restart. Danny Addy just gives the game up there, the former Bradford man. Great servant to the Bradford club. And, you know, when you think about Danny Addy, I remember his 2013 season for the Bulls. 29 appearances, 15 tries. That firmly did put him in the sort of Super League spotlight, and credit to Danny Addy. He stayed with Bradford even after the £1 million defeat to Wakefield, but at the end of the 2016 season, Hulkeston Rovers and that lure of Super League too strong. Bradford now on the back of that penalty have a full set, 30 out from the Featherstone line, and they're looking for more points here as Nathan Mason's brought down 20 metres out centre field. Well, Will Jubb there and Callum Turner trying to bring down the former Huddersfield and Oldham prop forward. We are seeing Zach Fulton now taking on Brad Day and Danny Addy, and all of a sudden those 900 Bradford supporters behind the posts cheering Lily on as he tries to score out of acting half, but the door slams shut. Bradford hunting what would be a 9th try here. Keys, Meadows boot to ball. It's played off the Featherstone man and it's picked up and it's play on is the call. And here we go. It is going to be the youngster going in, and that's a great try from Connor Barley. Connor Barley has gone underneath the post here. A consolation score for Featherstone Rovers. Still work to do by the Bulls in terms of their defence, but in the end, credit where it's due. We'll be back to a 20-point game here with just over 10 to play. So Connor Barley, he'll enjoy that one. Lovely play there from the 20-year-old Hulkeston Rovers man. As we said, loan spells at York and Featherstone. Well, the best way to describe that passage of play there was Bradford almost like they have the shorts, they've got the flip-flops, they've got the sandals out, and you could see what Meadows was trying to do. He was trying to put boot to ball and just an invitation for Gill and Armitage to put a bit of kick-chase pressure on. From in front of the post here, Lewis Gorman, the 19-year-old, has narrowed the gap to 20 points. So, 24 points to 44 here. And we've got 10 minutes to go. So, a brace of tries for Brad Day, Daryl Alforts, Connor Barley getting on the act. Armitage and Gill, as we know, have a brace, alongside Lawrence, Meadows, Ockimbo and Suter. So, 10 to go on West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, Bulls TV, Featherstone. Oh, Lewis Gorman nearly letting that one go dead in goal, but he was helped out there by Claire Rebb, who had to pick up the ball, and he had to move the ball down the middle of the park. Will Jubb to King Vanya White. And it's a penalty here to Featherstone. 20 metres out from their own try line for a flop. So 4 penalties apiece. To be fair, you could have put Jordan Lilly in that man of the match, Paul. Very, very tough choice this afternoon. But certainly Bradford's strong point in this game has been that connection, that connectability. Good elements from Bradford's spine to create 9 tries against a big championship side in Featherstone Rovers this afternoon. Both sides, it must be said, nowhere near full strength. So when they meet at Odsal later on in the season, you probably will see both at their very best. Featherstone now not giving up the ghost here because they're 20 metres out. Jubb out a dummy half, goes past Fulton, goes on the left towards Connor Jones. Jones is 2 metres out here, and they've still got 2 tackles left, Featherstone. Well, if they score here, the cat is with the Pigeons, but that is a bit of a flat play. They are on the last. They're going to go towards the corner. Ockimbo saves the try for Bradford, palms the ball down. Connor win. If he takes that ball from Connor Jones, he's in at the corner. Bradford's 10th error of the afternoon. And Bradford now, the message from Brian Noble and Lee Greenwood on the touchline is to slow things down. Featherstone want to stop the clock here. As we say, we've got 8 to go on the clock. Well, Mitch Suter has 2 Man of the Match awards in 2025. I think Luke Hooley might be up there this afternoon. Will Jubb to Aikins. 10 metres out now. Featherstone, if they are to stage a comeback, they have to get over the line. Bradford's defensive wall was inside the 10 from the scrum, according to the officials, so it is going to be back-to-back penalties to Featherstone. There's 8 minutes to go. There's still a lot of time here for Featherstone, as we see King Vainiawa. And it's a set restart now to Featherstone. Can they breach the Bradford line? Nathan Wild on his Featherstone debut. The Lee Leopard loanee gets a quick play of the ball in. And they're going to be brought down on the line, but it's a double movement. King Vainiawa, he has promoted the ball forward. Double movement there. Oh, the temptation there to reach out and score. Just too much. Try disallowed. Featherstone supporters booing, not enjoying that decision from the officials. But Bradford will now surely hold on for that win. 24 points to Featherstone, 44 to the Bradford Bulls. We have just over 6 minutes to go on the clock. Well, I think Bradford will have ticked a lot of boxes from Brian Noble and what he wanted from this game. Certainly expected a bit of a tougher dogfight. I mean, it has been a tough game, it must be said, as we see Mitch Suter come back on the field here for Nathan Mason. Franklin Pelly, James Donaldson out there on the field for the closing moments of this one as well. Another set restart conceded by Featherstone, Fulton being held in the tackle. Well, a ninth try takes Bradford towards the half-century mark, and it'll be many a year Bradford have come here and put 50 points on. Franklin Pelly now, 5, 10, 15, 20 metres there by Franklin Pelly. He gets a quick play of the ball in there, does the Kiwi. It's going to be Lilly down the middle to Donaldson. Bradford 15 out from that Featherstone line in front of the post here. We've got 5.5 to go on the clock as it goes out towards Keys on that right-hand side to Wonga Blake. Blake's wrapped up there by Jones. Hatton comes across and he's wrapped up there on what is now, I do believe, tackle free. So 2 to go here. Keys kicks early. Oh, Lily's been taken out off the ball here by a Featherstone player. Featherstone are going to end the game with 10 men. It is the King. It's the Fijian international. King Vainiawa. He leaves the field. Featherstone will end the game with 12 men. It's right in front of the post. He's taken Lilly out off the ball. Too many players around for a penalty try. But a chance now for Bradford, who will decline the 2 points. The message from Brian Noble is to run it. So they're going to have a full set, 10 metres out from this Featherstone line. Well, that was silly play from the King. It was right under the nose of Cameron Worsley. James Donaldson, tackle 1. 5 to the left of the post. 5 away from the line. Lilly flick on past to Kieran Gill. Kieran Gill has the hat-trick, and it's Jordan Lilly magic. He's the creator. Kieran Gill's the assister, and Kieran Gill is now up to 6 tries for the season. And Bradford's leading try scorer of the last 3 seasons. Look at that loving embrace. It's Gillian Lilly. Bradford do breach Featherstone's line for a 9th time. This is an unprecedented Bulls performance here at Post Office Road from what we've seen in recent seasons. And Bradford will be getting their hands on the Peter Fox Memorial Trophy. One of the truly great names of rugby league. And as we said at half-time, great to see rugby league clubs do this. Featherstone and Bradford working in tandem together. When Peter died in early 2019, they got together and decided to play the Peter Fox Memorial Trophy in his name, in his memory. Well, Jordan Lilly, very similar to a number of Bradford players this afternoon, could have gone himself. But in the end, unselfishly, and that is going to be the positive from this performance this afternoon. It has all been about side before self. As Bradford once again, for the third time in this second half, they've exposed Featherstone's left edge. 48 points to 24. And I think if this goes over from Hewlett, you'll have the biggest cheer of the afternoon here at Post Office Road, because that will signal Bradford have hit the half century. 3 minutes to go on the clock here. This is a huge morale boosting, convincing performance by the Bradford Bulls, as Luke Cooley pushes it to the left-hand side of the post. Well, Bradford perhaps didn't quite want the half-century here. Light-hearted boos and jeers. It does remain a comfortable 24-point lead that Bradford have over Featherstone this afternoon. It is West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com. By the way, if you're looking for some other games, with Costo, Jason Costigan, once upon a time he did actually call Bradford Bulls games in the early days of Super League. I'd love to call a game with Costo. Hopefully one day it happens. Well, you think Andrew Voss is like a dog on heat. I think me and Costo together in the same commentary. Perhaps we do the grand final together, or even the championship final. We will see. But yeah, head to rugbyleague.com during the week and find out which other great rugby league games they're covering. Bradford on the restart, 10 shy of halfway. Hooley draws in Brad Day, and Brad Day disgrapples him and wrestles him down. And the clock on the scoreboard has disappeared. So we're in the final minute of the game here, as Jaden Okinball's away. Okinball kicks into space. Joe Keys to Lilly. Lilly kicks forward. It's off of Mitch Suter's legs. Suter's under the post for a try, but it will be disallowed. And I think they're going to say Joe Keys has accidentally ran into Will Jubb. Will Jubb's gone down in back play. You can just see him to the right of your camera angle getting up there with the navy blue scrum cap. I don't think Joe Keys is going to go for 10 minutes in the sin bin. But the try to Mitch Suter there will be disallowed. And it is looking like this will be all she wrote here this afternoon at Post Office Road. Just playing down time. Featherstone Rovers 24. Bradford Bulls 48. Certainly Bradford have been on top. They have absolutely smashed Featherstone, both physically and mentally, in this second half, exposing that left edge defensive frailties. So Brad Day's on halfway playing the ball on tackle one. Now the dummy half from Jubb to Aikins. Webb brought down there by Lillian G. Certainly a lot of development in young Claire Rebb. I like what I see. Jubb now to Jones to Aikins. Aikins has fooled everybody and somehow got the ball back to Jones, who's finally wrapped up by Fulton and Suter. Seconds left here at the end of this championship encounter, this all West Yorkshire affair. Bradford will return to winning ways. Robson Stevens, who's one of those interchanges who's come on in this second half, is wrapped up 10 metres out underneath the post. And there goes the full-time hooter. There's no time for Robson Stevens to get to his feet and play the ball. Full time here. Bradford have shown commitment. They've shown attitude. They have absolutely swatted Featherstone Rovers away here this afternoon, exposing those defensive weaknesses. Clinical forward defensive play from Brian Noble's side. This